Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be continuing working on the grading of the yard here. We're airing up the tires on the backhoe, making sure they're all at pressure and ready to go. Today is really going to be a good test for the repair we did to the hydraulic cylinder. I dug one little test hole with it afterwards, but yeah, it looks like it's holding up good, so hopefully we don't have any problems. My goal for today is to finish up digging out where the backhoe is sitting, grade out the fill site that I have brought up to grade already. Then we have to move the bus up beside the building, and we'll dig this out here. So, a lot of work. I don't know how far I'll get, but yeah, I'm really excited. Last good day of weather for about a week again, so, and we have some friends coming, so I need to also spread this 2 loads of gravel out and make a nice skim coat so that we're not in the mud when they show up. So let's get to work. So if you haven't seen our previous grading videos, the plan here is to make a big graveled yard where we can turn around our bus or semi-truck. We often have schoolie friends come up, so they have their buses. So we have a lot of big rigs that get in here, and there isn't a great turnaround spot besides our yard to get out again. So it needs to be big enough to turn a full-length semi around eventually. So the reason I'm cutting in the yard with the backhoe bucket instead of just digging it with the front loader is that I am trying to get this very precisely graded so that water runs off. We are using a laser transit, so it's basically a spinning laser that I can set at a 2% slope, meaning that for every 100 feet of horizontal distance it's dropping 2 feet. So I have our yard graded at that 2% so that when we are in the rainy season, all of the rain runs off instead of puddling. Before, the yard was pretty much flat and it would just create a big muddy mess. This stays much drier during a rainstorm because most of it runs off. But it's a great slope for an unpaved surface. 2% is flat enough that you feel stable when you're going across it with a big rig like our bus, but it's not shallow enough where it starts to puddle. 2% is pretty much recommended for unpaved surfaces. So once we're done grading, we have the leftover pile of dirt, and what we're doing with that is just filling in the low spot in our yard. When we started here, where we're dumping right now used to be about 4 feet lower down, so we're really trying to level up this yard and get a nice flat spot on the bottom. This material that we're working with here is just perfect for this application. It has a lot of fines to bind it together, but it has a lot of big rocks to support the load of our big rigs and all that, even when it's wet out. So when I'm hopping out of the backhoe here, I'm using the laser receiver, which does an auditory beeping sound when you're on grade. And once I'm on grade, I put a little paint mark at the spot so I know visually where I'm on grade, that I can use my eye and just kind of grade to each of those spots. So now that we got this strip graded, it's time to get the bus fired up for the first time in a couple months and move it out of the way so that we can grade the next section up. So I've been really happy with this backhoe purchase that we did earlier this spring. We were planning on just renting for a month or two, but with the weather up here in North Idaho, the springs are very wet and the summers are very dry, so there's only a certain window where you can do work like this, because you need to have the ground wet enough to compact but not too wet to be muddy. It's a really fine line as far as the window where you can do grading out here. So this is the first real test since we've rebuilt the stick cylinder for the hydraulic system on the backhoe, and we've put it to work today. This is a really hard ground with a lot of big rocks that you have to dig through, so it's been working great. If you haven't already, now is a great time to hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is worth showing to other people, and hopefully they can find us and also enjoy our content. Getting this yard graded out and putting a skim coat of gravel on it is probably the biggest grading project we're going to do this year. It really opens up the door to having other people up here and be able to bring in our heavy equipment like our semi-truck and with the trailers and all that, because like I said before, there's no other place to turn around on the mountain except for up here. So it needs to be big enough and wide enough and has to drain well enough so we can get in the spring. If you like this content and want to see more of it, the best way to ensure that's going to happen is to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of our videos. We have a lot to do yet this summer. They'll be pretty interesting, and we have so many more products we want to get to in the coming years. If you've made it to this point in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is just to hit that like button. If you want to support the channel in a more direct way, the best way to do that is through our YouTube channel memberships. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.